Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Friday Night Hangout brought to you by the Craft Beer Nation. Today is Friday, March 18th. I don't know why I feel the need to say the date every time I welcome you to the show, but it doesn't matter. Point tonight is a celebration. But before we get into the details of that celebration, I want to let you know that you can catch our Pints and Quarts shows on our YouTube channel, and we're a little bit behind getting the podcasts uploaded. But nonetheless, if you want to see the video, or hey, if you're one of those people who like to go to YouTube and not look at the video, just listen to the audio, do that. We're on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and search Craft Beer Nation. Last night's episode of Pints and Quarts, we had one of 11 Master Cicerones in the world. That would be the one and only Nicole Ernie. This is the second time in the last month or so, I'd say, we've been blessed to have a Master Cicerone. The first time was Neil Whitty, who's with Boulevard Omegang Duval. Firestone Walker, well, not Duval, Firestone Walker, and those guys. And then last night we had Nicole, and coming up here pretty soon, we're going to have somebody from the actual Cicerone program, and her Virginia last name is escaping me right now, but nonetheless, she's going to be joining us. So back to the celebration. Tonight is CBN Firestone Walker Friday night CBN's Friday Night Hangouts 200th episode, with the exception of holidays, I think, like Christmas and Thanksgiving. The few times where those shows have fallen on Fridays, this has been one continuous train for 200 straight weeks. Once again, not counting holidays. So, 200th episode. So we figured tonight we'd do something special. We didn't want to put any style limitations or any brewery limitations on anyone. So the tonight's topic or tonight's theme is just what you got, your best beer. Just break out the good stuff. So it's drinker's choice. Reach into the back of that cellar, pull out the good stuff that you've been holding, waiting for that special time when you were gonna share that 17,000% barley wine with some people who ain't come over in 3 years. So quit waiting to share it and just go ahead and drink it. Beer is made to be drunk, so let's get it. So introducing our panel tonight, Freddie Rodriguez. Freddie, how are you doing tonight, my man?
Doing good, man. Excited. Good beer, good people. Show number
Freddie,
200.
Freddie's been fretting all week about what to drink. So I
Yes.
don't even know what he's pouring right now. So it's gonna be a lot of fun when we finally get to him. I know Freddie got some heavy hitters in the cellar. So we'll see where he breaking out. We're also joined by Kevin Lovecraft. Kevin, how are you doing tonight, man?
I am doing awesome because I just got back from Portland and had
Ooh,
your beer shipment waiting for me, and so I'm having this lovely nugget nectar right now.
all
Loving it.
right. So my man said he needed Nugget Nectar. I tried to come through, and I'm gonna come through for him again because I got access to more and he needs some more. So need to
Yes,
make it
sir.
happen. Ricky, have you ever had? Well, Ricky Potts, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm pumped to be here for episode 200. It's been a little bit of a struggle. I've been on the road all week, but and I don't have any of those heavy hitters to talk about. But man, I couldn't not be here to celebrate episode 200, and couldn't be better, man. As Freddie said, good beer, good people, and that's what it's about.
Ricky, have you had Nugget Nectar?
I have when I was
Okay.
in Indiana, I was blessed to be able to. Not only was it a beer that I loved, it was really easy to get. Like you said that you've had access to it, like so it might be limited. Where I don't know if it was just a Midwest thing, but I mean, it was all over the shelves in Indiana, and I've had it on a handful of occasions.
Cool.
That's good beer.
Well,
Absolutely.
I'm Randy, as you can see, as denoted in my lower third right there. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. Um,
I was concerned how you were doing, but no one wanted to say anything. So thank you for clarifying that you were well.
and I think Gil may try to join us a little later on. He had to work tonight. I think Charles is going to try to join us. I'm going to assume that Jeffrey J. Davis is going to be joining us, and Doug Nolan may try to join us a little later on.
Okay.
So until we get there, Freddie, what is in thine chalice?
Literally. This is
Literally.
It's a chalice.
I am drinking a pitch black brownie batter, cinnamon, vanilla, pepper skin beer.
It said
Brewed.
pepper skin.
Yeah.
What is that ingredient?
It tastes like pepper. It's not like hot, but it's like peppery. Uh,
Okay.
Cigar City, Hanapu.
Oh,
Ooh, that beer
Oh.
is so
Nice.
dang good.
Oh.
That
Well,
is
ladies
a
and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. Next week's show.
I'm so glad you
will-
said that.
Oh, hey, but it's not AB InBev, so it's not.
Yes.
They didn't
Gosh.
go. They had agreed to AB InBev before they switched over. So
Yeah.
I'm just saying he shut it down. Like everybody else's beer is gonna be paltry.
I mean, it's everything. It's everything you've heard about. That's all I'm saying. I'll give you a quick description. It's a delicious beer. It's not. None of the flavors are overwhelming. You're not getting a boatload of heat. You're not getting a boatload of chocolate. It's a very well blended. I mean, the name speaks for itself. It's been a craft beer. Hanapu. Hanapu do Hanapu. Hanapu Day just passed. I think it was like last week and the weekend before.
I was gonna ask, is that the new one or is that last year's?
Oh, last year's. This year should be
So-
shortly, very shortly.
I'm gonna say that I don't know Hanapu. I've never had it. I don't even know.
Dude, get it. It's
know-
dumb good.
It's not as simple as just get it. Right?
Well, I mean, I know, but you got skills.
Look.
You got trade skills.
I'll say this: I'm gonna see Freddie at the beginning of June.
The very, very beginning.
I mean, he could have brought. Never mind.
Yeah, why didn't you share? Sitting there drinking
Uh,
that bottle by yourself.
So
Very
Freddie,
much.
let me ask you this:
Yes.
the interesting thing was, I think, was it last? Yeah, last week was Mexican stouts,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Does the Hanapu fall into that category?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's got all like so we discussed this last time, right? So it's got like that pepper, the chili. It's got vanilla. It's got cinnamon, vanilla. I don't know if I mentioned vanilla again. Cocoa. So it has all the ingredients like a Mexican hot chocolate would. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's an imperial stout. It's not a milk stout though. I think it definitely falls in that category.
What's the ABV on
Definitely
it?
it does because it says it's part of the Mayan mythology as well. So
Okay.
you know.
What's the ABV on it?
I was looking for this earlier. I don't really know.
It's like 12 or it's
I think it's 11.
up there. So yeah, 11, 12-ish.
Yeah.
Well, I was
What's-
gonna say, you know who know?
The Google machine.
The
Yeah,
interwebs.
I mean, I've never had any of the. I've never had the double Hana, but of course.
There's a double Huna?
Yeah.
Yes. Sir, there is.
So the first time I've only had Huna like once, and it was at a driveway tasting. We did 5 years back to back to back, right? And it was cool because they were all 4.5 or better, but it changed every single year. And I don't know if the recipe changes. I don't know a ton about the beer, but like every single one was different. More cinnamon in this one, more vanilla in that one. And I don't know if that was just the aging aspect, but it was cool because what they did, there was probably 20 of us as tasting, and they had all of the beers in brown paper bags, and you switched them up, and you were supposed to rate them in your favorite to least favorite, and then try to pick the years because they were so different year over year. And I don't know if anybody knows if there's a differentiation between the beers year over year from the recipe, but it's special brew, man. It's delicious.
Sneakily dangerous too. I mean, I'm talking about 11%. Besides, like the ingredients, I mean, this drink's very smooth. Not.
Yeah.
I bet it does.
Mm-hmm.
If only I knew.
But,
If only he would have shared.
If only he would have shared.
I'll give you a virtual sip.
Ah, ha, ha, ha. All right, so
Clear your throat, bro.
Freddie's Freddie's drinking his 11% Hanapu. Definitely. I mean, I guess is that beer? Would you consider that beer to be a whale?
Yeah, I mean, Hanapu is definitely a whale. It trades like crazy, especially as soon as it drops. But it's not like a white whale, as they say. It's not like
And it's 12.7. I just looked it up. It's 12.7 for the 15.
the doubles. Are big time.
Double's a whale for sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just go ahead and pour my beer out and drink my Dark Lord so I can compare, so I can compete with Freddie a little bit.
You asked. I'm figuring out.
I'm kidding. I'm not drinking my Dark Lord. All right, Kevin, what are you
Pretty
drinking,
sure
man?
you said bring out the best stuff. So.
Well, I'm drinking a good beer right now, man. Hold your horses, cowboy.
How dare
Well,
you?
I'm still working on that nugget nectar, but now I'm tempted to go pull out a bottle
Oh,
of Oso I've got sitting in the fridge.
there you
There you
go.
go.
Peer pressure.
Yeah,
Why not?
I'm all jealous of the Cigar City.
So what do you think about the Nugget Nectar?
Oh, I really like it. It's got such a nice malt and hop balance on it.
Mhm.
It's just all the flavors really come through so nicely.
Yeah.
Because you talked about this on the underrated episode, right?
hmm I think
That
so.
yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree that this is just a wonderful. I'm normally not a big amber fan, but this is just spectacular.
Well, Kevin, interesting you said it because I mean I'm not that big of an Amber fan either, but um that they classify their beer as an Imperial Amber. I think they should be called an Imperial Amber IPA, whatever. It's made up. Who cares? But nonetheless, it's it's released around the same time as Hop Slam.
I was
So
just gonna mention that. I
so
prefer that
I
over Hopsland.
I think it flies under the radar. And truth is, Freddie just said he prefers that over Hop Slam. I do too. I look
Oh,
forward to
same here.
Yeah, I look forward to Nugget Nectar more now. I didn't even
100%.
I made zero attempt to even find Hop Slam this year. Because I don't care. It's overrated. It's a good double IPA, but there are a lot more good double IPAs out there, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean Hop Slam don't do it for me, but Nugget Nectar, I'm gonna get that every single time.
Oh yeah.
Not only because the beer tastes good, but the value is there way over Hop Slam. That's just my opinion. I didn't mean to steal your shine while you were talking about your beer, but nonetheless. So that's
That's good
that's one you
stuff.
could definitely get behind, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We were speaking earlier, and I told Kevin that me and my friend Michelle, who a lot of y'all probably know, um we both kind of prefer that beer with a little bit of age on it, and that malt kind of comes through nicely. So yeah, it's definitely not. It's a hoppy beer that does not get worse with age, in my opinion. Now I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not saying hold on to your Nugget Nectar for 2 years, but you hold that bad boy for like 6 months and it becomes money. So yeah,
Excellent.
great beer. We just got joined by Charles Dunkley. Charles, how you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. How's everything?
Good, man. Good. I'm gonna go to Ricky and I'm gonna come back to you and see what you
Yeah,
what you what
sure.
you, what you're partaking in tonight,
All right.
Ricky.
So, did you have Hop Slam, the most recent release?
Have I had the most recent release of
Anybody?
Hop Slam? Yeah, I had it on tap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I try it every year just 'cause it's a good beer. I think it's way overrated, but I thought it was really sweet this year, like a ton of honey this year over the last couple of years. So anyway, I don't have anything. I'm traveling, so I don't have anything crazy. I
Wait,
have a little bit.
hold
I'm
on,
gonna tell the
hold on,
story
hold
of
on,
that.
hold on, Ricky.
That's
Hold on. Does Ricky sound weird to anybody else, or is it just me?
Yeah, it's just because of his internet connection.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
your
Yeah.
connection's
Hotel
like,
Wi-Fi.
yeah,
so.
super choppy.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, man, use some
Well,
of
if you
that.
want
Use
to,
some
if
of
you
that
want to
4G.
see, I am using the 4. That's the thing. I'm in a very remote place. I'm 2 bars right now. So, do you want to go to Charles and come back in case it makes it better? Go ahead.
See, I can hear you
Do
fine
that.
now.
Oh,
I can.
well, fine. That's what you get.
How about
So I
type
don't
it?
have
Oh, we'll
anything
see.
crazy. So I'm on the road. But I went to the store the other day when I got into town, and I'm gonna go straight up with this Sunwork beer. I told you guys a little bit ago. So I got the Sunwork beer for free because it had a label. It's an IPL, and it had a label on it that 12/3/2013. And I thought, that's got to be old. I asked them, and I was going to buy it, and I said, does that label mean it was on 12/3/2013? They're like, absolutely, why? And I was like, well, because that's an IPL, and that shouldn't
Okay.
have been pulled 2 years ago, and so they ended up giving it to me. So I'm gonna do it. I was like, it tastes like, but so I don't have anything to compare to Hunapoo or whatever. Like, but I'm drinking a Lightning Elemental, and it's a Imperial Pilsner, and it's really good. Again, I'm not gonna spend a ton of time talking about it because I can't even compare to the other beers being poured. But it's the most like citrus forward Pilsner I've ever had. Like, I'm getting like straight lime zest on both the palate and the nose and the palate, and it's super carbonated, which I'm not a huge fan of carbonated Pilsners like this. I'm talking like soda pop swished in your mouth carbonated, but it's good, and more than anything about the beer or whatever, it's just about hanging out on this special occasion and being able to share in number 200 and hoping that there's 200 more coming up, and I look forward to this and every Friday, and just cheers to the community that's been built and for letting me be a part of that. And that's what it's about, man. It's about this right here, talking and drinking beer and sharing in conversation with good people. So that's what I drink too on a Friday night.
Cheers to that, Ricky Potts. I'll tell you all the time, man. And I'm glad you turned the auto tune off.
You're welcome.
Charles, what's up, man?
All right. So I still have no idea what Ricky's actually drinking. So
He's drinking an IPL from
No,
okay.
no, I'm not drinking that. I'm drinking a Lightning
Pilsner.
Elemental Pilsner.
Oh, Lightning Elemental.
Okay.
It's an Imperial Pilsner, right?
Ricky,
Yeah,
please
it's Imperial
excuse
Pilsner, I
Randy. He didn't quite understand what you were saying.
No, that's
Yeah,
all right. It
I-
was an auto tune.
You must have missed that part.
I only told this story twice to him, so I mean, I get it.
So later
Sorry.
we'll take the video and take all the good words from both retellings and splice it together into one legible thing.
And it might go viral.
or we might just play it the way it is.
That music.
All right, what's up, Charles?
All right, how you doing? I
Good, man.
could not figure out what the hell to bring for the 200th show, so I just decided let me just get something that's in my
Bring it
favorite
on.
style, which is as much as I love Belgians and hops, my favorite style is still a pale ale. I always come back to that style.
So you went with Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
No, I'm going local.
Nice.
This is out of Watkins Glen. It's their Roosterfish Brewing's pale ale.
Mm-hmm.
This is it's pretty nice. It's an English style. It's like a dry pale ale, and nice and cloudy. And staying local with my glass. It's an Ithaca Beer Company glass.
Nice.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nice. It's got a light citrus. It's got a nice malt because it's more of your English than your American. But the dry pale ale, as I describe it, it actually fits really well because your mouth does dry up after a sip, and you just want to keep drinking. It's
So I'm
pretty
gonna-
light. It's 5.7 ABV.
I've never heard anybody describe a pale ale as being dry. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this one is.
mean, that's
It
a-
makes it gives it its own unique spin than what you.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a completely different take on the pale ale, man.
Yeah.
So it just makes you wanna take another sip, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the best, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And Watkins Glen, of course, being a big race town, they've
Mhm.
just recently redid all their labels, so this one shows one of the early drivers.
So
Cool.
you've had that before, right?
Oh yeah, I've had this many times. I've had it at the brewery, and this is something that I guess they've been probably bottling it in the last year.
Okay. How far is
They
that for
started to
you?
bottle more. 20 minutes, 25 minutes at the most.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so that's
Yeah,
local for
with-
you.
Yeah,
Sure.
along with Ithaca, they're probably Roosterfish and Ithaca are, for me, the two best breweries up in this upstate New York region. They're a small
Dope.
little place, but they manage to do a whole wide range. They'll do pale ales, IPAs, wee heavies, Belgian triples. I mean, they've got some skills there.
Sorry, guys, allergies. Yeah. So, Charles,
Even once.
thank you for that.
Yep.
Pale ale. I'll say this. you win the unexpected award for the night because I did not think that
Yeah.
anybody would break a pale ale out tonight, but you know.
I know. I was gonna say, should I get that 2013 Bourbon County Stout? And I was like, nah. Let me go local with a pale ale.
So just like Charles, I decided to keep it simple. I went with natural ice. Just kidding.
that would have been awesome.
I
Can you
I
tell us about
decided
it?
I decided to reach back just a little bit, and I went with one of probably. Well, now I'm sad because I realize I won't ever have this beer again because I refuse to buy it anymore.
Yeah, I
But
know.
I'm drinking. This is 2014 Bourbon
Oh yeah, that's
County
so good.
barley
God, a
wine.
beer is so good.
I
I
think
thought I still had that in the cabinet, but I had the stout instead. I drank that recently.
so. Here's the thing about this beer, man. Well, okay, so here it is,
Mm-mm-mm.
right? This, I know this. I'm about to. Okay, I'm about to make up a style for the second time tonight because I said Kevin's beer. Kevin's beer should be called an Imperial Amber IPA, and in my opinion, this should be called like a barley wine porter or a barley wine stout because first of all, this beer is super dark. I mean, you can see it. Well, I can see it. You can see a little bit too at the
Yeah.
very bottom. It's like a little bit of a ruby color at the bottom.
Mhm.
But other than that, I mean, you can't see through this bad boy. I mean, it's a super duper dark ruby mahogany Billy D. Williams colored beer.
Go for it.
And this, I mean, I don't like giving AB my money. I won't be giving them anymore. So this is the probably the well, I'll still drink it, but this is the last of any. I take that back. I got some Bourbon County Stout. This is the last Bourbon County barley wine that I'll ever purchase, and this
Bottle or
beer is.
draft as well?
Oh, this is a out period.
Money.
Yeah, I'm done with them.
Voting with your
Especially
draft.
considering I got 2 bottles of this year's barley wine, and they were both infected.
This year was horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thin,
So
light, just bad.
my problem is that they sold to AB. That means they should have at least access to, if not state of the art equipment, they should have access to people or processes that would allow them to mitigate instances of infection. But instead, they had 2 variants this year that went out on a mass scale that were both infected, being the coffee and the barley wine. And
not all of them were infected.
Well, no, not all of them, but there were a ton of them that went out.
Yeah.
Different lots.
And
because I had both before they even like the infected thing even came out. I had them both on tap. Then it was a few weeks, like I mean, maybe 3 weeks later, it was like, and everybody then it seemed that they were infected. They made it right, but the fact that there's that much beer, to your point, like going out that's infected, like how does that get through?
Yeah.
QA.
Right. That's the problem. How does that get through? So I mean, I'm not gonna fault the brewers because I mean, when you barrel aging beers, shit happens, right? But somebody need to be tasting this before it goes out.
Yep.
So that said, it's when I had my barley wine, I don't think it wasn't even highly publicized that the barley wine was infected. All the people thought all the infections were with the coffee variant.
Yeah.
And so I popped my barley wine on New Year's Eve, and as soon as I poured it, I smelled it, and I was like,
That's bad.
I was like, this. I was like, wow, it smells different this year.
Why is it so tart?
So it smelled like slightly soured.
Yeah.
And then I took a taste, and I was like, that's off. That ain't right. So, I take another taste, and I'm like, nope, this is definitely infected. And I had, up to that point, I hadn't heard anybody talking about, the barley wine being infected.
Yep.
So that was kind of like an eye opener for me. But nonetheless, I tell you one thing, 2014 wasn't infected, and this bad boy is drinking nicely. Um, I I'm kind of sort of regretting drinking it right now because it's my
Don't,
last
man,
one.
don't.
But in the spirit of Ricky, I mean, I'd rather be drinking it with you guys, drinking it with friends, having a good time, celebrating
Oh, yeah.
200 episodes of doing this on Friday nights. And shout out to Lunacy Brewing out of South Jersey. I don't remember what city it was, but these guys, I went to. Okay, I'm gonna digress a little bit. This past weekend, went to a Philly brew tour. Um, Jersey's right across the river from Philly, so that counts. um, the first brewery we hit was Flying Fish.
Nice.
They had a lot of really good beer there. That they were the biggest brewery on the tour. They're doing some good stuff there. Really cool brew house, really cool tap room, all that other stuff. Then we went to Lunacy, and we left Lunacy, went to Second Story, then we left Second Story and went to Crime and Punishment. Lunacy is these guys are literally brewing in a 2-barrel system in a garage, and they probably had the best beer on the whole tour. So
That's sick.
for anybody who's watching or who will watch, and you want to open a brewery, man, you can do it, man. I believe in you. Randy believes in you.
And that's all that matters.
And if you want to call it Randy Brewing Co., go ahead.
that was
Yeah.
that was failed dramatics on my behalf, but
That was
whatever.
failed motivation.
Nonetheless, nonetheless, this beer super malt forward. Everything you want from like an English barley wine. Tons of barrel characteristics. You get that vanilla. You get, I mean, you get. Hold on.
Do you know if that was the first year they did that? Or
No, it wasn't.
Do you know?
It wasn't, because I know I had it the year before. But you get bourbon is
Yeah,
definitely
I'm
present.
trying to remember the first time that I had it.
Yeah, I don't know. This bourbon is present, oak is present, vanilla is present, dark fruits are present. Um, like imagine if you got like some um maybe like some I don't want to say prunes, but if you got like some dried plums, I know that's a prune, but follow me. Some dried if you got some
I get what you're saying.
if you got like some dried plums and then reconstituted it in bourbon, like that's kind of like what I'm getting, right? Like you get a little bit of the sweetness, the flavor of the stone fruit is definitely there, but the bourbon is certainly not. Bourbon is refusing to be left out of the picture, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, this is a too bad. 15 was terrible. 14 was not. 14 was awesome, and I think they killed it. They need to bottle. They need to re. I was about to say bottle, catch lightning in the bottle. They need to catch 14 in the bottle, impossible, and do it all over again for 16. But it won't matter because your boy won't be buying it. So
You know what? I'm gonna buy you a B&Bev all day long. Just send it to you. Like you get a box a day. Like it'd be worth. Not to get too far off topic, but I mean, like the Cigar City thing. Does that concern you? Like, is that as big of a deal because it's not a B&Bev, but still a buyout, so to speak? I mean, it could have been a B&Bev. They talked about it. They had even signed a letter of intent to a B&Bev.
right. So here's the thing. Here's why Cigar City doesn't bother me. Not to say that I'm going to acquiesce to the masses, but nobody in the history of beerdom has had a problem with the fact that Fireman Capital owns a controlling share in Oscar Blues. Nobody had a problem with that at all. These are the same folks that bought Cigar City. Oscar Blues has continued to make awesome beer. Their quality has not fallen off. In fact, you could probably say their quality has, at the very least, been consistent, if not improved. So they're still making great beers. Nobody here is gonna ever turn down 1050, right? On a hot summer day, if you're at a barbecue and somebody break out Dale's Pale Ale, you gonna drink it. Nobody's gonna turn down Old Chub.
I'll drink.
Freddie on a 106-degree day, Freddie will drink 1050. He don't care.
Easy.
Nobody's ever gonna turn down Old Chub on a hot summer day. If your options are Dale's Pale Ale and Mama's Yellow Pills, you're not gonna be disappointed. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, Oscar Blues is still making fantastic beer. I mean, I know that there's concern with investment companies coming in and eventually it being about the bottom line and about, you know what I'm saying, about the money. But in this case right here, we haven't necessarily seen that because the only thing we can do, we can only make a decision based off of their track record. And the track record for these guys says that they allow the breweries to still do what they do best. Anheuser-Busch hasn't necessarily done that. When Goose Island sold, sure, with the exception of this year, Bourbon County has always been what it's been. Lolita, Sophie, Matilda, Pere-Jacques, those beers have always been, for the most part, consistent, but that's because of the way that sale was structured. It allowed the people at Goose Island to maintain control over those beers. However, there were documented cases of people who were drinking Honkers and drinking 312 who they noticed that the beer changed before they even knew that the sale had happened. So, as a matter of fact, those beers aren't even brewed in Chicago anymore.
Yeah, I saw it. I got a 312 the other day for a badge, and I was like, it's brewed in New York? That's weird because it's a Chicago brewing company. And it said on the label, brewed in New York or like somewhere in California or something. It wasn't California, I don't think, but it was like two different places, not even Illinois whatsoever. So I was like,
right.
Well, all right. So it's no longer Goose Island.
So we don't see nor do we anticipate that happening with Cigar City. Joey, I call him Joey. Joey Redner is still going to be operating Cigar City. Wayne, yeah. I call him Wayne because I know Wayne. Wayne Wombles is still going to be the head brewer. They're still going to be operating at Cigar City, but it's just that there's going to be much more of it probably available because now they'll probably have some capital to be able to expand and get more of their beer to the masses. So, if anything, you should be happy, Ricky, because now you can probably get fresh High Life before too long. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, so to that point, like I get it that AB InBev is not like these smaller investment companies. So let's say that you open that 2015 coffee, you open that 2015 barley wine, and it was as good, if not better, than what it was when you had it the year prior. But now that it's AB InBev, because of the fact they've got the money and the resources to do that, would that change your story now saying that? Because the way I look at it, I don't like that I'm giving AB InBev money. But what I do like is the fact that the beer tastes good. And even, so I had Regal this year on tap, and it was unbelievably good. And I get it. Again, the whole side of that to where they're the ones that are in control of the barrel program, whatever. But I'm not going to not get it. Like this year, I did not go wait in line to get Bourbon County, or I didn't go wait in line to get coffee or whatever. But I'm not gonna not drink it just the way that, because I'm a badge. I'm obsessed with collecting badges on Untapped, right?
And whore.
I didn't want to say it, but thank you for calling me what it is. I get it. I'm guilty. But I went out and bought a 312, and to your point, now that's not a style that I've had in a long time, like that baseline of just that wheat, that very basic wheat beer. And I remember when I first got into craft beer, 312, that is good. Throw an orange wedge on it or whatever, it is what it is. Well, now it's like I had it and I was like, this ain't very good. But I was jaded because I'm reading the label and it's like brewed in New York, and I'm pissed off. It's not in Chicago, it's not local, it's AB InBev, but I still drank it, I still bought it. But I wonder though, if Cigar City, to that point, Cigar City's not available in Arizona. So let's say that 6 months from now I go into Total Wine and there's a stack of High Life. I've had it, so I'm not going to buy it, but that would excite me, the fact that beer is now available here. Tim Barrel. There's one beer from Tim Barrel on store shelves right now. It's a table beer. It's a very basic, just like light lager, but Tim Barrel's here. And that's exciting for the fact that I've been to Tim Barrel. I've sat there and I've had 20 of their beers, and the guys are still brewing. They're still doing the same thing. So if the beer doesn't change, at that point, I'm okay with it. So that all being said, I get your point in wanting to be anti-InBev because of what they are and what they do, but if the beer tastes good, at the end of the day, to me, as a beer drinker, at that point I'm focused on the quality of the beer that I'm purchasing. And
Okay, Ricky. So to your point, let me rewind a little bit and lay a little more of the foundation to make my argument a little more structurally sound, right? Um, I had always, for the last couple of years, I'd always felt a little hypocritical when buying Bourbon County Style because my feelings towards AB InBev, right? So, um, and we're gonna move on after this, right? So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. Yeah.
no, it's all good. So the point is, it's not my problem with Cigar City. I don't mind that they sold to Fireman Capital. I don't mind that Firestone Walker is in bed with Duvel. I don't mind that Lagunitas even is in bed with Heineken. My
Yeah.
problem isn't necessarily with it's not with who they're selling to. I have no problem with investment companies, but I have problems with AB InBev and their practices.
Practices.
I
Yeah.
respect the fact I know that Budweiser and Bud Light is a difficult style of beer to make, and I know that I can get that beer consistently. Once again, from Helsinki to Sydney, wherever you go, that beer is going to be the same every time. I know that, and I know that's difficult to do, especially with that style of beer. There's
Yeah.
nothing to hide behind, so the people can brew. It's not about the liquid. It's about their business
Right.
practices as a company. And that being said, I choose to vote with my dollar, and I'm not
All
gonna
right.
give them my money. That's just how it go. That how it be.
All
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
And I
So
respect that, and I respect that to the point that I'll drink to that because that's your
yeah.
choice. And drink
So
good beer. At the end of the day, that's what it's about: is drinking beer and sharing it with good friends. So that
church.
right there is
Cheers to that. Absolutely.
So
amen to that comment.
we just got
Yeah,
joined
man.
by the lovely and stunningly handsome Doug Nolan.
Hello,
Doug, how-
ladies.
I didn't laugh, Doug, because he called you lovely. I just laughed because that's what he started with.
It's all right.
How are you? How are you tonight, Doug?
I'm doing well. I've been just hanging out watching some basketball with the wife, and she's kind of meandered into the bedroom, and so I'm, stuck drinking beer with you fine fools.
What are you? Speaking of which, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I started off with the Devil's Backbone, one of the collaborations, the one with they did the brewery from Australia, the double pale ale, something or other. Thunder Road Brewing, I think was the name of it. And now, with you fine folks, I don't normally get sexual on a Friday, but when I do,
Ah,
That's right.
I think
because
that's
your wife went to
debatable.
bed early.
yeah.
I tend
And when you
to-
do, you get it with us. I guess.
Yeah, I'm getting sexual by myself on the couch.
I think of you in a sexual way every time I see you, man. So
So this is the. All
I
right,
need to make sexual vanilla for you.
yeah. This is the.
Oh,
This is-
man.
This is the 10th anniversary.
all right, sorry, Doug.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Doug. Go ahead.
That boy can sing.
That boy can sing.
Good and terrible.
Doug Nolan, give it up for Roanoke's own.
Oh my god, it's like one of
All right.
my favorite movies, like my movie scenes of all time.
You may know him from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama.
That's my mama.
All right. Okay, go ahead, Doug.
Oh man. So, I don't even know if I can continue. So this is the 10th anniversary of the old sexual chocolate.
I did not know that. Is that this year?
Yeah, February 2006, 16.
Did it do anything different to it?
The label, the letters are gold.
Ah. Okay.
I don't know if there's anything different to the beer. That's the only difference, I think, to the bottle. Over the years, I've never really been a huge fan of this beer. It's definitely, you definitely get the chocolate. I don't know if maybe it's the freshest I've ever had, the regular version versus the barrel aged one. But I mean, it's definitely, you're roasty, you're chocolatey. And it's kind of like a mix between a milk and dark chocolate. You kind of get that darker, more bitter chocolate up front with a kind of a sweeter finish to it. course, the
Nice. Yeah. Proper glass.
section shot glass.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, that looks very viscous looking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. And it's one of those things. Like normally, when I see this beer, I don't often get it. We don't normally. It's kind of one of those things like this. The regular version will pop up for sale in Virginia, like I don't know, like every other year. It just kind of like randomly shows up. I went to the store before a snowstorm to get some things, and I'm just strolling through the beer aisle, and it just was sitting on the shelf at a grocery store. It's just like the most random place to see it. I was like, oh well, I'll go ahead and buy it.
Like eggs or sexual chocolate?
Yeah.
Sexual chocolate.
So, no, it's not bad. I mean, I certainly prefer the barrel aged version more.
Well,
but
What's the
imagine
ABV
that.
on sexual chocolate?
what's that?
Imagine,
What's the ABV?
9.5, something like that. 9.6.
imagine that Doug would prefer the barrel-aged version of a beer. Mm-mm-mm. I
No.
would have never seen the day.
Yeah. Well, you know,
But I would never see
I
the
just
day.
feel. I mean, it's good. It's not like I remember. Everybody like there's certain beers in this world you hear about, and you always kind of dream of having them. Whether it be 5 years ago when I would think about sexual chocolate or the barrel aged sexual chocolate or Black Twos, and you think of those beers and you're never gonna get your hands on. And 5-6 years ago, sexual chocolate was one of those beers for me. Like I always dreamed of having it. I was like, I love coming to America. That's like my favorite scene ever. Like there's a beer named after it. I've got to have it. And then like I started going to the barrel aged release. I went 4 years in a row, and I just kind of fell in love with that version of it. And it was weird to me that one was more accessible to me than the regular one. So I kind of
if I open a brewery and I had like a massive stout that was incredible, that was like delicious, and I called it Randy Watson, you think they would sue me?
Randy Watson.
You think they would hit me with a cease and desist letter? I don't know. I'd be like, what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'd be like, y'all some chumps. Whatever. Anyway, Freddie,
That's hilarious. That's a great name.
you still y'all some chumps or Randy Watson?
Randy Watson.
Oh,
But-
okay.
Yes, is the answer. They're both.
Shut up, Ricky. Freddie, you still drinking? I'm sure you're still drinking that terrible drain pour of a bomber of a 750 you had, right?
Yeah, I'm on my last glass.
All right.
But I'm moving
Chuck?
home.
What's that?
You still you moving on to your second beer yet?
In just a minute. I'm just finishing up this
Okay.
one now.
Wait. Hold on.
Hell? No.
Freddie, you about to you finishing up the last pour of your 750?
Yep.
All right. Kevin.
I need to grab a fresh glass, and then I'll have my Central Waters
Fresh
Brewers
glass?
Reserve.
What?
Fresh
I'm
glass.
switching styles, man.
Freddie ain't
I
drank
repeat.
Freddie ain't drank 2 growlers by now.
Kevin, what's that? Central Waters what?
It's their stout Brewers Reserve. It's a barrel aged.
Oh, Central Waters?
Nice.
Yeah, and they've never let me. Well, okay, take that back. Peruvian Morning. That sometimes they have problems with that being infected. That's happened a couple times in previous years where they've wound up drain pouring everything. But other than that, they're just a kick-ass brewery.
Yeah, I was about to say Central. I mean, I've never had anything from them, but I heard like from what I've seen, what I've heard, those guys are legit.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, I think I had that.
Do they have like is there like a flagship beer or at least one that's highly sought after that they make?
Well, their anniversary beer is always a real big deal. They have in fact, I was supposed to go to the release party for that with some friends and had to miss it because of work, and that's probably the most highly sought after beer every year. This year it was 16 for their 16th anniversary. And that's just a big barrel-aged stout, really rich, great flavors. So I've got a couple bottles of that hidden somewhere for myself so I don't crack them too soon.
I hear you. All right, Ricky. I know we got you for 12 more minutes. Ish. What are you drinking?
I'm still on that Pilsner. I still got about third of the bottle left. It's so good. Like, you don't get this flavor out of a Pilsner that often, and I wish it wasn't as carbonated as it is. Because I mean, the finish is just all lime zest, and you don't expect that much citrus from a Pilsner like this. Um, I gotta behave a little bit because we're gonna go have some drinks this evening with some of the folks here in Tucson. Victoria is actually going to be coming out and joining us, so that'll be fun. It's weird. She commented, she's like, "I wish I was home." I'm like, "Where are you?" Because I'm not out yet. But I will be seeing her later this evening. That'll be fun to be able to hang out with her, even if she's not online for the 200th episode. I'll still be able to have that connection with her this evening. And today, like, I had a local beer today. Last night at dinner I had a local beer, and it's when you travel, like when I was in Savannah Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and everywhere I went, I'm like, what's local? What can I get at home? And I had probably, over the course of the week, 10 or 12 different beers that I can't get here. And when you travel, that's what I like to do. And tonight will be no different. And again, it's cool. Like, and I wish we had kept stats like from the beginning. I haven't been around since the beginning, since episode 1. It'd be cool to know how many episodes people have been in, and to be able to know who's been in the most or whatever. And it's always it's cool week in and week out to be able to see the same folks, and I look forward to the future of what this community brings and grows. And again, I'm pumped to be able to be here on episode 200.
Sweet. Even though you've been drinking that.
Why is Doug
Pilsner
crying
for
his
50
eyes out
minutes.
over there?
I don't know, T-Pain.
More like T-Painful.
Your hotel needs to upgrade their Wi-Fi.
Sorry, I
All
sound great. I have no idea what you heard, but
Hey, we love you, Ricky. It's okay.
Hey,
No
man,
doubt.
we
Ricky,
appreciate
nonetheless,
you.
man.
I'll drink
We
that.
appreciate
Cheers.
your contributions to Craft Beer Nations, specifically in Friday Night Hangout. It's always fun having you around. You know what I'm saying? You always, make the effort to at least to be on style, and when you're not on style, you're off style gracefully. So it's appreciated, man. And
When you're
and
off
it's,
style, you understand.
Thanks, man.
So it's good.
and but that's what we all try to do, right? When we off style, own it. Don't try to fake funk. That's what I fake the funk
Yeah.
sometimes. It was a wheat bill one time. I was like, the barley truck drove through a highway that had wheat on both sides, so I'm sure a little bit of wheat got into the barley truck. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about my second beer. I went further back into the cellar,
Or mama.
and no, I didn't.
La Marita. No? Yes, maybe.
Same year. I went when I got my 2-year-old Bud Light Clamato. The clam juice really mellows out around a year and a half, and then right around the 2-year mark, the tomato juice really starts to shine, and you begin to ask, what beer? There's no beer in here.
Can you pick up where the clam was originally located, like where they get it from?
In my opinion,
Is it Rappahannock clams?
I know this is a quahog. This is straight out of Rhode Island.
Oh, nice.
So this is legitimate, man. This is they got the good stuff. And these tomatoes were not picked by migrant workers because Donald Trump does not allow that.
That's a good point.
Oh.
They ran the ladder over the wall, Randy.
So I'm drinking a 2014 K to the B to the S. Ale. This is an ale brewed with chocolate and coffee, aged in oak bourbon barrels. So back in November, I went to visit Gil, and we did a vertical of 13, 14, and 15 Bourbon County Stout, and then followed that with a little mini vertical of, I want to say it was 13 and 14 KBS. At the time,
Yeah, well,
KBS could not hold a candle to Bourbon County Stout. I mean, then again, it's two different beers. I'll give it that. But yeah, so instead of following Bourbon County Stout with KBS, I'm following a barley wine with KBS with the hopes that this beer will redeem itself. I know this year has come out, but I'm not in the business of taking days off from work to go buy a limited release beer, so I did not get the 2016 KBS. So here's 2014 with a beautiful nose. So cheers, guys. Cheers to 200 episodes.
I know you bringing out something like that makes me. I had to go get something special this go around.
So the coffee fades. I guess that's to be expected unless they use cold brew coffee. I think, in my personal opinion, is that cold brew coffee sticks around for a long time in beer, vice aging the beer on coffee beans or pouring, I don't know, cold hot brewed coffee into the the fermenter, the secondary or whatever. But nonetheless, I mean, it's not this is a bad beer. As far as chocolate goes, I, you know, it's in here because they say it is, but I'm not getting a whole lot of chocolate notes. Maybe they use cocoa nibs, and cocoa nibs tend to actually give you a lot of coffee notes in the finished product. Not so much chocolate, but more so coffee, and you get like chocolate aroma. But I mean, they didn't say cocoa nibs; they said chocolate, and I don't know if they maybe used some cocoa powder. I don't know. I didn't get chocolate. I'll just say that. But nobody in their right mind turns down KBS, so there's that.
I do.
Yeah, Doug
I
thinks
do.
it's a swill.
I like
So does
KBS fresh.
Ricky.
So I will up your KBS, dipping into the cellar for Founders beers. We'll go 2011 Backwoods Bash.
Oh, man.
God, that beer is so
Oh,
good.
nice.
So here's the thing about that beer, Fresh, man. Fresh, that beer is a bourbon bomb, in my opinion.
It certainly is.
Right? So okay, so me and Doug's opinion, since none of y'all ever had it fresh, apparently, lying ass. That beer is a bourbon bomb, Fresh. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, I drink bourbon. I like bourbon. That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. So Doug, how was it after 5 years?
Well, I think your point when you talk about a beer being so strong in the bourbon is like me personally, I'm not a bourbon drinker, but like I think when you get, but I love bourbon barrel aged beers. I think when you get things like Fresh, Backwoods Bastards, I don't know why the bourbon in the bourbon characteristics in the Fresh Backwoods Bastard is so strong and prominent, but to me it takes away from the base beer. I think after aging it in that bourbon kind of fades a little bit, and the sweetness of the oak and the vanilla from the barrel kind of starts to really kind of go well with the base beer of Backwoods Bastard. It's like, so this one it's like you still kind of get a little booziness to it, but it's really, really, really sweet. It's kind of like raisiny, vanilla-y,
I'm back.
with that kind of the oak and the vanilla kind of on the back end. But you still kind of get a little hinge of like the bourbon, a little bit of warmth from the bourbon and the alcohol of the beer itself.
Doug, does it remind you at all of Dogfish Head's Raison Dextra? Which is a great beer. I mean, it's not barrel aged, but that's a fantastic beer.
No, you know what? Yeah, that is a fantastic beer. It to me it almost tastes more like the Dogfish Head old school barley wine. It almost has a more
Which is a
raisiny.
fantastic barley wine.
Yeah, it almost tastes like it's a weird like taste going on in it right now. I don't know if it's maybe like past its prime, but it definitely has a more like that kind of raisiny flavor that goes on in that old school barley wine.
Well, Doug, to your point, Founders doesn't necessarily come out and say exactly what the style. I don't think they come out and say what the base beer style is for that brew. But if I had to guess, I would guess something like old ale, which oftentimes aligns kind of like with the English barley wine style. So
Well, I don't know if
for
I'm. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe somebody can look it up. I don't know, but I feel like I thought it was like a kind of a bigger version of Dirty Bastard, which is their like
That's what I
Scotch ale.
thought.
well, Scott. I mean, so is there much difference between a Scotch ale and an old ale?
And
You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
know. I mean, it definitely kind of. Now that you mentioned the old ale, it kind of like if you have some of those big boozy breweries anniversary beers, it kind of has a similar kind of raisiny sweetness to some of those because some of those big beers have that really cloyingly sweet, kind of
Oh,
raisiny.
Doug, I had their Sucra today.
Sucre. It's so good.
Sucre.
Yeah, it's
Oh my god, that beer is amazing.
It's massive though.
Well, my buddy Martin had his 1 year anniversary party back last summer, and my buddy I don't know. I know Randy knows, but my buddy has a beer store, and the name of the store is called Barrel Chest. And so his 1 year anniversary was every beer that he sold at this festival was all barrel aged beers. Well, one of the tents was the most recent brewery's anniversary beer, and I don't know. I must have like 3 or 4 pours of that beer. And granted, it was only 3 ounces, but that's 12 ounces of 19% beer in a matter of I don't know an hour and a half.
Yeah.
On top of the other like 8 pours I had.
Oh man.
So
Wasted.
I like,
yeah.
I like that attitude, man.
Freddie, you are on beer number 2, I think.
Yes, I am. I moved on to. I haven't even tried this yet, so I'll tell you what I'm drinking. It's Revolution Brewing out of I believe it's Chicago too. I'm pretty sure.
Freddie, your volume is mad low, dude.
Hey, you watch your mouth. How's that?
Why don't you flip down your fucking mic?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go.
His mic's up by his fucking top of his
Nah,
head.
he's
Actually,
using,
I'm on.
He's using the microphone.
Okay.
Go ahead, Freddie. Oh, well, we can't hear you when your mic's off. Just saying. Oh,
Watch
there
your
you
mouth.
go.
Does it sound better now?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get money.
All right, cool. I think I'm drinking Revolution Brewing. I believe they're out of Chicago as well.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm drinking their Very Mad Cow. It's a bourbon barrel aged milk stout. This smells delicious. I've never had it. This is my first time.
I think you had the barley wine before, right, Freddie?
Yeah, the bottle of wine's fantastic. I think it's called Straight Jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bourbon barrel aged barley wine. It's so underrated. Like, I'm not really sure too many people like. A lot of these guys' barrel aged stuff has been pretty damn spot on. This is part of their it's called Deep Wood series. So it's all their barrel aged stuff, and so far all the stuff I've had from this series has been phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Randy, do you know if they distribute to this area?
Nah, not Revolution. Nope.
Yeah, see, this is killing, man. Their stuff is just
Yeah, they're outstanding.
yeah, they're good. This is their Deep Wood series is really good, man. This is
That's the joint that beer came in a box, right? Kind of like Firestone Walker does their boxes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's something I will never understand.
I mean, just
it's
presentation,
just
man. That's all.
you get vanilla from the barrel. This is a really good mouthfeel too, man. It's very silky, not overly chew. It's like you can see like it's going towards desserty almost, but then it stops. Like the barrel characters kick in. It's like nope. You know what I mean? It's not like creme brulee sweet per se. Obviously that's overload. It's like just sugar, but
But you love it.
I love like 2-ounce pours.
Well, don't they make it in 12-ounce bottles now?
Yeah. No, but this is killer, dude. It's I mean, I know Randy really doesn't do well with milk stouts, but if you guys can get your hand on some of these guys, and especially their imperial stout, their milk stout, their barley wine, it's awesome. This is a very well made beer. I think it's aged for 6 months. I'm not sure where the barrels come from, but the characteristics there. You get
Now, how does it compare? Now, I haven't had a lot of the barrel-aged milk stouts from, say, Hardywood, but how does it compare to some of their, like, the Trickeries and the Fooleries and all that?
For me, Trickery was really sweet. This is nowhere near as sweet as Trickery. Trickery is almost like too sweet. You know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to drink, I think, Trickery by yourself.
Yeah.
A for the ABV,
Trickery
right?
was
It's
super sweet.
but it's like it's extremely sweet. This is like it's very well blended. Nowhere near as cloyingly sweet though. I mean, nowhere near it. But you get tons. I mean, this is packed with flavor, man. It's sweet. That's what I'm saying. Like it's going towards dessert, but then like you can see like it's like pulled back a little bit. Like it's sweet at the beginning of the palate. You get tons of sweetness, and then that quickly just dying down, and then like you get these like some like rich notes. You know, you get that vanilla sweetness. You get some like oakiness from the. I'm assuming the barrels or staves, whatever they use. It's really good. I mean, it dies down really quick, and it just again the mouthfeel on it. It's nice and silky. Lingers on there, just nice constant sweetness to it.
Awesome. Charles, you went to your second beer?
Yeah, I got my second beer.
Alright.
I am drinking one of my new favorites, Stone Pataskala, I guess is how you're supposed to pronounce it. It's a red IPA.
Let me see. Yep. Hold on, let me blue out you real quick. Hold that back up again.
Yeah, I like that one.
That's a
Red X IPA.
That's a city in Ohio. That beer was named after Greg's hometown.
Yeah. Kevin, weren't you just posting about like red ales and like ambers are pretty much reds the other day?
Yeah, I did well out in Portland. Red IPAs are like a big deal out there, and then just had that Nugget Nectar, which is an amber, Imperial Amber tonight, and yeah, it can be a tough style to do right. I'm not crazy about when the malt's so forward that it overwhelms the rest of the beer.
Mm-hmm. But on Stone's website, they just say it's an IPA, but on Beer Advocate, they have it in their American Amber Red Ale category.
Yeah.
But this has got your what you expect out of a Stone hop profile.
Man, this is
but it actually does have a pretty different malt bill for them. It's lots of like caramel and toffee to balance out the hops. It's pretty different. I actually like it. Since going back to the pale ales, I like pale ales that range the spectrum from your very malty English style or all the way to your hoppy American. So this is, for me, kind of like they took like an Imperial Red and really put a lot of like big malts in it. So you might not like it. I don't know if you've had it, Kevin, or not. But
no, I haven't tried that one yet. I would definitely pick it up. Stone usually I enjoy.
Yeah.
I don't think Randy likes Stone too much, but
I'm a little bit. I hate them. I hate them.
And I know I'm in the minority of Stone love.
Yeah, I hate them. Today's opposite day, so I hate Stone beers.
We all know you're a Stone homer.
Kevin, how's that Central Waters beer treating you, man?
Oh man, it's fantastic because I let it warm up.
Oh yeah.
And such a nice like brown sugar bourbon nose on it, and it still has a little bit of creamy head on it. It's a little hard to see. Wonderful aroma, bit of raisin there.
So just looking at your beer and looking at the head on it, I'm gonna guess it's probably somewhere around the neighborhood of like 8%, 8.5%, somewhere between 8 and 9%.
Yeah, I was looking and they do not list the ABV anywhere here in the bottle that I can tell.
Just trust me, Kevin.
It's so funny you mentioned the head. It's so funny.
What is it? What is it? Central Waters what?
It's the Central Waters Stout Brewers Reserve,
Yep.
aged in oak bourbon barrels.
Oh, I'm here.
All right, go
Should
ahead,
be the
Doug.
2015.
No, I was saying it's so funny that you mentioned the head on that beer. Like, I poured the rest of the sexual chocolate into this, and that like I held off so I didn't overflow the glass. But like that little bit of head that's there, it's been sitting there for I don't know 3 minutes. It just hasn't moved.
Yep.
It's 9.5%. That was a little off, you know.
Yeah, their barrel aged beers tend to go on the bit heavier side.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
No, definitely not. But it doesn't have that. This one could sneak up on you if you didn't know what it was.
It's so funny how some beers are like that. Like sometimes you'll drink a beer that's 15, 16%, and it's just booze. But sometimes you
Yep.
have them and it's like, really, that was 16%? Really?
Yep, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's, I don't know.
I mean, like for
Yeah,
me, like
I would never guess.
like for me, and this may be crazy for me to even say that for the people who've had this beer. I believe Randy may have had it, but like for example, Black Tuesday. Like I get it's a big boozy beer, but to me it doesn't necessarily taste like it's nearly 20% alcohol. Like
I've never had it, Doug. I'll say that.
well, I mean, I know you've got the reserve bottle.
It's 20.5%, but
Man,
Well, that particular one was 20.5. The non-reserved one is 19.9, I think. Last year's was 19.5. But like, it doesn't like when I've had it, it doesn't really taste. I mean, it's definitely boozy, but it doesn't, really. You wouldn't think it's that high. I mean, I guess maybe that's a bad example, but like, even some of like the Bourbon County beers. I know you guys were having a little debate about that when I joined in. Some of those like. One year it'll be 14.5, the next year it's 14.9, but the 14.5 will taste more boozy than the 14.9. It's kind of weird how sometimes that alcohol just kind of can be more prominent.
I really want to get the shit beer from the brewery, and I'm not cursing. It's an acronym. It's they have a beer called So Happens It's Tuesday, SHIT, and which is essentially drinkable version.
But isn't it like 14% or something?
It's a 14%, basically Black Tuesday.
It's a session Black Tuesday.
Okay, exactly.
that's awesome. The session
I know
version.
it didn't hit this area. A buddy of mine that I'm drinking beers with tomorrow night got it down North Carolina.
So I'm looking forward to trying that. But that said, everybody's spoken about their second beers, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for joining us, our one viewer, our
Thanks,
one
Mom.
live viewer. That's probably Che. If I had to guess, it's probably Che.
That was a bet, man.
We're gonna next week we're gonna shift beers a little bit. And Kevin, if you're available next week, man, please do join us. You're more than welcome to be a regular on the show. We're gonna go, I guess maybe kind of sort of opposite of what most people did tonight, because I think we're all drinking either stouts or with the exception of Charles, we're all drinking stouts or like beers that are way up there. And next week the show's gonna be about sours. So
Yes.
Kevin's here next week. Boom. we just locked him in next week. All right.
Oh, I felt like I was walking into heaven when I went into Cascade Barrel House.
I'm drinking one of my buddies bought a Cascade beer yesterday that we're having, and this first time I've never even heard of it before.
Oh, they're
Cascade?
amazing.
Oh,
yeah.
The apricot is my favorite.
It's a beer from them that I've never heard of, but we'll talk about it later.
Awesome.
So next week, episode number 201 will be all about sours. But until then, everybody, I'd like to raise a glass to you, raise a glass to 200 episodes
Absolutely,
of keeping
it's been fun.
CPN going strong. And until next week, everybody, cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Be safe out there. Come join us.
Come join us in the after party. We here.